Okay, so this is a supplemental video to the last demo, and this video is going to talk about how we can import images directly into Lightroom, not copying them to a folder on our hard drive first, but just inserting the memory card and importing them directly. So when we click on the import button is going to bring up the sources, and the sources are basically the hard drive. If I take my memory card and I insert it into my card reader, then my memory card will show up over here as a source, EOS Digital. And when I click on it, Lightroom's going to ask me for access to it. And it's going to bring up all of these images, and it's going to show me what's in there. And again, the default is they're all checked and they're ready to be brought in. If I were to decide, let's say I put my card in and it had multiple shoots on it, and I only wanted to bring in some of the images, I could come down here and I could say uncheck all. And now you can see that they're all sort of dark and they're not checked. And I can select images that I want to bring in. I can click on an image, and then if I hold down Shift and click on another image, it will select everything in between. If I hold down Command, which is the keys just to the right or left of the space bar, I can choose my images one by one. And so I can select them or I can deselect them just by clicking on them. And once I have what I want selected, I can click one of the boxes in the upper left corner to check it, and it will check all of my images, and then it will be importing those images. Lightroom will only import the checked images. So I've chosen my source, I've chosen what images, and now you can see up here on the top, in the last demo, we added the images, but add is not an option now, nor is move. The only options we have are copy as DNG and copy. For right now, we're going to just do copy. Later, we'll talk about DNGs, and then you can decide if you want to do that. And if you do want to do DNGs, you can go back and create DNGs out of all of your images at a future date as well. But for right now, we are just going to copy the images in. They're going to go to our hard drive, and you can see also here along the side that there are a lot more selections or choices that we can make. File handling's the same. Don't import suspected duplicates, which is good. We can rename as they're coming in now that we're copying them. You can choose to rename them. I generally don't. I like to keep the original camera file name on them. And so I don't worry too much about renaming, but that's kind of a personal thing if you want to do it. Again, we have our apply during import, which would be develop settings, metadata, and keywords. And now we have something new down here, which is destination. Because we are copying these, it is going to move these, or not move, it is going to copy these files from our card, from our memory card, copy them to a location. And so I can choose, what I'm going to choose is my main folder, right? Because we set up our main folder already, and that's where I want to put them. I'm going to choose my main folder, and then I'm going to come back up here to the top, and I'm going to put them into a subfolder, and I'm going to name that just exactly what we did before when we set up a folder in the Finder: the year, the month, and the date. And then a dash, and then I'm going to put Lightroom demo. So a little, oops, I didn't put a dash, I put a star. Let's do a dash, Lightroom demo. It's going to name that folder, and you can see that down here it's putting that in. It's putting it under a year because I have it to organize by date, and I don't want to. I want to organize it into one folder. And so now you can see that it's going to put that one folder inside of my main folder down here. And so I've chosen to add this subfolder. I'm putting it into one folder, and I'm putting it in the Photo 180 main. You can see that you can put it onto other drives. If you had other drives, like if you had an external drive, it would show up down here, and you could put it in the external drive. Once we've made all these choices, then we can say import, and it will bring the images in. And you can see it says copy and import, and it's bringing those in. And it says 2 operations now because the bottom one is actually quick previews that it's creating. And this looks very similar to the add dialog, although it's taking a little bit longer to add them because it's copying them as well. And then it's going to finish those previews. And now we have all of our images in our Lightroom catalog, and we're ready to work.